Hey, what's up? GW coming to you live. And as promised, we just watched the James Van Beber movie, Deadbeat at Dawn, which I told you one of the most tamest scenes in the movie is when the hero, Goose, takes his girlfriend, who has been murdered, to a garbage dump and crushes her. Well, this movie is by far one of the most violent pieces of cinema to come out of the late 80s, early 90s. It stars Paul Harper, Jim Van Bever, Megan Murphy, Rick Walker, and Mark Pittman. Cast of others. There is a guy at the end of the credits whose name is Steve King. Now, I don't know if that's Stephen King or not. I'm going to say no, guys. However, the story goes like this. James Van Bever plays Goose. He wants to get out of the gang. So he tells everybody, hey man, I'm sick of the gang life. I'm going to get up out of here. And while he contemplates quitting the gang, the two main gangs in the film, the Ravens and the Spiders, join forces to become a super gang, much like what they were trying to do in that film, The Warriors. So then what happens is, because they don't want him to leave the gang, the Spiders send a couple of guys over to his slum house, if you will, and they beat his girlfriend Rodney King style. What follows after he initially dumps her body in the incinerator, or the garbage dump rather, is one of the most bloodiest portrayals of street gangs that you will ever see. After he does that, he ends up getting pulled back in the gang to do one more job. It's an armored truck job. After that job, the Ravens and the Spiders decide they're going to take out Goose. And Goose was the former leader of the Ravens. There are acts of violence in here which you could make a drinking game out of. We have, in no particular order, ninja star to the head, gunshot to the head. We have knife to the head. We have chopped off fingers. We have blown off fingers. Countless gunshots. Blood splatter everywhere. Throat ripping. I mean, it's just... The carnage count is unbelievable in this film. But it's definitely not for the weak at heart. I'm going to tell you that. There is a lot of drug use in this film. And the film looks 70s style grimy. You know what I mean? And it actually looks really cool in that respect. The other thing is the needles in this movie. There's a few shots with needles in there, and it doesn't look like they're fake, but if they are, James Van Beber did a hell of a good job on that. James Van Beber, guys, later on in his career did a movie called The Manson Family, which is very extreme, very shocking, and I suggest if you have any interest in the most famous crime in American history, you guys should check it out. I might do a review on that later on. But, like I said, this film looks very grimy, very 70s-ish, and the blood flows like water here. Now, Megan Murphy does a hell of a good job as Goose's girlfriend. The only problem is you don't get to really know her as a character. She's just there and then gone. So, but if you like 70s, early 80s grindhouse, this is definitely a grindhouse movie because this takes violence up and above and over the top. It's just a bloody affair, and it's a short movie, which makes it work nonetheless. Definitely a short movie. So, if you have any interest, check out Maneater, or not Maneater. Check out. I've been playing Maneater on my Xbox One, so that's why I'm just thinking. Check out Deadbeat at Dawn. You can also get the limited edition Arrow issue DVD from Amazon. It has a ton of extras and everything else on it. I haven't gotten it yet. And quite frankly, I forgot what a great movie this was. Now, this is 10 steps above the movie The Stuff that I reviewed yesterday. And the stuff still sticks with me. I don't know. It's as dumb as and crazy as that film comes off, it still stays with you. But Deadbeat at Dawn is probably one of the bloodiest films you ever see. And you could see how they took ideas from the movie The Warriors and sort of incorporated it into this. Everybody kind of looks like an extra off that scene, the way they dress and whatnot. So definitely give it a whirl. But as far as the blood and the carnage count, if you like blood and gore, you're going to be in for a treat. In fact, 5 minutes into this movie, there is a gang fight at a cemetery. Fingers get blown off. I mean, it's just crazy. Definitely look it up. And look up James Van Beber. Hell of a filmmaker. But it is one of the more violent affairs that you will see on cinema. And it does harken back to the days of the Grindhouse, where you go into a movie theater and you can still smell the dried up coke on the floor. And you're seeing things that are so violently crazy that you can't forget about them. So definitely look up Deadbeat at Dawn if it's up your alley. And it was more violent than I did remember. So there's also a ton of wicked lines in here that are just memorable. Some of the villains or the gang members say. And also, James Van Beber's dad in the movie is not exactly right. He's an alcoholic, heroin addict with a temper. And there's nothing really redeemingly good about this movie. I mean, don't look for any messages. The only message you're going to find in this film is that street gang life leads one place: death. So, like I said, definitely one of the more bloodiest affairs. And even the special effects. I mean, the blown off fingers and the throat ripping and even the blood is well done. And definitely pretty wild film. So, if you like 70s, 80s grindhouse things, definitely look up Dead by Dawn. Or Deadbeat at Dawn. Not Dead by Dawn. Deadbeat at Dawn. James Van Beber classic. Now, after watching this, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like grabbing a shower because it just makes you feel dirty, which is good. Films are supposed to do that. It's GW. Check it out.